Is death as an event good or bad experience if we dissolve ourselves in the universe after death?
Or to the bigger self?
See, you're sitting here. You are writing something. You traveled a particular distance. How is all of that any less important than an imaginary moment of death? Nobody ever seems to ask, what will happen when I will sip the next cup of tea? Nobody seems to ask, what will happen when I'll breathe next? Are all these things any less important? But we always seem to be asking about death. Death is so important. Nothing is important, death is important. Life is not important. Every single moment that you are living is not important. Death is important. And how is death any more important than all this? Because we are afraid. Because we are shivering to the core. So death is important. Sir, is death more important than all this? Is death more important than all this?
If you understand this, you automatically understand it. But there is no need.
And suppose I don't talk of death. Suppose I am the first man on earth who has not seen death.
I won't be afraid.
I am not talking about death at all. I don't know. I don't know. I am the first man. I have not seen
It
death.
has no significance at all.
Why must I talk of death? There is this.
Existence.
Yes. And it is factual. It is right there. My senses are bringing it to me. And there is this mind that wants to understand all this. What is death? Do not want to have opinions about things. Do not ask how a particular thing will appear in the mirror. Clean the mirror, polish the mirror, then everything will appear as it is. The same mind that wants to have an opinion about death also has an opinion about marriage, about money, about life, about disease, about education, work, career, right? It's the same mind that has an opinion about everything. It's the same mind that looks at everything. Same eye. This eye cannot look with clarity at anything. Can it look clearly at death? My life is confused and in knots. I understand nothing. I do not understand why my wife is upset. I do not understand why there is this kind of disease in my body. I do not understand anything. Will I understand death? Please understand this. When I said that there is this movement, there is life, there is this and that, why don't you speak about that? Why bother yourselves with death? It's the same mind that looks at death, right? You do not understand what is happening in this room. You do not understand what is happening on the terrace. You do not understand what is happening on the road. You do not understand what goes on in your mind. How will you understand death? A little dog comes to you, you do not understand what is happening. Huh? You do not understand. The mind is attacked by greed. You do not understand what is happening. But you want to understand death. Will that happen? Can that happen? Isn't it the same mind, the same mirror? Or is the mirror selective? Does the mirror say that when a particular face comes in front of me, I will reflect clearly? All other faces I will not reflect clearly. Does the mirror say that? It's the same mirror, the same mind. Clean the mirror and everything will appear as it is. But you are bothered about one particular object and the name of the object is death. I want to understand death. I understand nothing, but I want to understand death. Understand. Life is there in front of you to understand. Why be obsessed with that particular thing?
Which no one knows.
Because you are afraid. Because you've heard that death is the final annihilation. That I will be no more after death. So the ego shivers. So you are obsessed with that. And because you are obsessed with that, so you can't even look at life.
Even Krishnamurti also says the same thing. We don't understand life, but we always talk about death.
I do not understand why I am writing this question. But I want to understand death. And I may even claim that, I now understand death.
And technically there will be nothing left after death. So whatever is this life. Rather than being more bothered about what life is, I'm more bothered about what death is.
Can we take this as a guide? A mind that is incapable in one area is bound to suffer from the same incapability in other areas as well. I once told a few friends that if you are incapable on the football ground, you will find yourself incapable in the bedroom as well. Because it's the same mind. You do not understand what to do when the ball is passed to you. How will you understand what to do when other things are passed to you? You will again find yourself arrested, stuck, frozen. What will you do? And the moment is gone. It's all a game of timing. Be it football or cricket. It's a game of timing. Or the classroom. Or a joke. Everywhere it's a game of timing. Learn to time it properly. And for that you need spontaneity, right? Beautiful timing can come only from spontaneity. But then something just takes possession of you and you find yourself incapable of moving in a liquid way. It's the same mind. How will you live? How will you live? Forget imaginary things. There is enough right now, here. Our hands are full. Pay attention to that. Understand that. Pay attention to the road. Pay attention to the road. And then you won't need to think about death. Pay attention to the clothes that you are wearing. Pay attention to the words that you utter. Pay attention to what you talk to your girlfriend on phone, and you'll understand death. In Kathopanishad, when Nachiketa approaches Yamraj, he says, "Tell me, what is death?" And Yamraj doesn't tell him anything about death. He tells him about life. And Nachiketa says, "I have understood. Now I have fully understood." Who can tell you about death? And why do you need to be told about death?